Detroit Golf Club has become the center of attention on the PGA Tour this week, and two very different storylines are colliding at the same time. One is a record-tying round that reshuffled the entire leaderboard. The other is a weather system that forced tournament officials to rewrite the final round schedule before a single shot was struck on Sunday. The question heading into the closing holes was simple: which one would end up deciding this tournament, the golf or the forecast? The tournament is being played at Detroit Golf Club, a 7,328-yard, par 70 course, with a $10 million purse on the line. Entering the third round, Cameron Young, Patrick Cantlay, and Patrick Fishburn shared the 36-hole lead. Cantlay has been chasing his first victory in 4 years, while Young entered the weekend pursuing his third win of 2026 and his fourth in the last 12 months on tour, a stretch dating back to last summer's Wyndham Championship. Then came Saturday, and everything changed. Rasmus Højgaard, who had barely survived the 36-hole cut, went out and shot a bogey-free 9 under 61. That score matched the Detroit Golf Club course record, originally set by Jake Knapp in 2025. What made it even more remarkable was that this was the third time in a single week that a 61 had been posted at this course. Peter Malnati carded the first one on Thursday. Cameron Young matched it on Friday. Højgaard completed the trio on Saturday, launching himself from the back of the pack straight into contention. Before going further, here's a moment worth pausing for. This channel, Global Orbit, exists to bring you exactly this kind of in-depth PGA Tour storytelling, the details that never make it into a quick score update. If you're finding this breakdown useful, subscribe to Global Orbit right now, tap the like button, and leave a comment telling us which storyline you think will decide this tournament. Every subscription and every comment genuinely helps this channel keep growing, and it means we can keep bringing you coverage like this all season long. Now, back to the leaderboard, because it tightened up fast heading into Sunday. Davis Riley fired a 7 under 63 on Saturday, his lowest round of the season, propelling him to 15 under par and the outright lead. Michael Brennan shot a 64 to sit one shot behind at 14 under, fueled by a stretch where he birdied 4 of his first 5 holes. Rasmus Højgaard's record-tying 61 pulled him close enough to the lead to earn a spot in Sunday's final grouping alongside Riley and Brennan, while Cameron Young and Chris Kirk positioned themselves as the closest chasers just behind the top trio. Each player brought a different story into the final round. Riley arrived as the in-form leader, riding the best round of his season. Brennan played patient, methodical golf that steadily built his position without a single dramatic swing. Højgaard, meanwhile, went from missing the weekend outright to one of the hottest storylines of the tournament in the space of 18 holes. The reason the leaderboard bunched up so tightly comes down to how the course played all week. Scoring conditions were low, and players who attacked pins aggressively were rewarded with birdies rather than punished for mistakes. Drop your prediction in the comments right now. Who do you like heading into the final round? Every comment gets read, and if you haven't hit subscribe yet, this is the moment to do it, because engaging right now genuinely helps this channel grow. Not every storyline from this week was about climbing the leaderboard. Some of the sport's biggest names couldn't escape how demanding this golf course proved to be, even in scoring conditions this favorable. The cut line fell at 3 under par, and it sent several major names home early. Wyndham Clark, the reigning U.S. Open champion, missed the cut for the second consecutive PGA Tour event, following an early exit at the Open Championship. Clark opened with a 71 and followed it with a 74, finishing at 5 over par, 8 shots outside the number. Despite the disappointing week, he remains inside the top 10 of the FedEx Cup standings. Asked about a personal moment from the week throwing the ceremonial first pitch at a Detroit Tigers game, Clark said, "I kind of blocked it out, to be honest. I just threw it and it was right on target. I was happy." Clark wasn't alone. Defending champion Aldrich "Pot" Jeter, who won last year's tournament at 22 under par at just 20 years old, also missed the weekend. Two-time tournament winner Cameron Davis, three-time tour winner Ben Griffin, and world number 7 Chris Gotterup all packed their bags early as well. Gotterup's miss was particularly notable, marking his first missed cut since the Genesis Invitational in February, a stretch that had included a win at the John Deere Classic. Akshay Bhatia and Billy Horschel also missed the weekend, both finishing at 1 under par, 2 shots outside the cut line. There was also a significant absence before the tournament even began. Jason Day withdrew from the Rocket Classic, marking the second straight tournament he has skipped due to ongoing back issues. Day sat at no. 74 in the FedEx Cup standings entering the week, outside the position needed to reach the playoffs. With only the top 70 players advancing to the FedEx Cup playoffs, his withdrawal leaves him with essentially one final opportunity next week's Wyndham Championship, assuming his back allows him to compete at all. Now, here's the storyline that has nothing to do with swing mechanics. Weather turned into the second major factor hanging over the tournament's final day. Rain was forecast to arrive in Detroit overnight on Saturday and continue into Sunday morning, prompting the PGA Tour to adjust the final round schedule before play even began. According to PGA Tour communications, the official statement read, "Due to forecasted storms and rain overnight and into Sunday morning, tee times for the final round of the Rocket Classic will run from approximately 10:45 a.m. to 12:45 p.m. Eastern Time in groups of 3 from NOS 1 and 10. That schedule was later tightened even further, with the final round beginning at 10:33 a.m. Eastern Time and the last group teeing off at 12:45 p.m. ET. All in split tee threesomes from the first and 10th holes. Instead of the usual single wave of tee times stretched across several hours, the entire field started within roughly 2 hours, a move designed to get every player through 18 holes before the worst of the storms arrived. According to AccuWeather, the bulk of the inclement weather was expected earlier in the day, with conditions becoming more settled by the afternoon, giving organizers reason to believe the round could still finish on Sunday without spilling into Monday. That threat carried real consequences beyond simple scheduling. A compressed, split tee format means players are not all experiencing identical course conditions throughout the day. Softer greens from overnight rain, shifting wind, and changing cloud cover can all affect how the ball reacts on approach shots and putts, depending on what time a group tees off. Groups starting earlier face different green speeds and moisture levels than those finishing later, introducing unpredictability that a normal single-wave tee sheet does not have. For players separated by only 1 or 2 shots, these subtle differences in playing conditions can matter just as much as the shots themselves. The format also complicates in-round strategy. Players had to decide in real time whether to attack pins aggressively, as the week's scoring had rewarded, or play more conservatively given the uncertain conditions. This is exactly the kind of storyline that matters beyond a single week of results. The Rocket Classic is one of the final events of the PGA Tour's regular season before the FedEx Cup playoffs begin, with the Wyndham Championship standing as the last chance for bubble players to secure their position. The winner's share of the tournament sits at $1.8 million, but the ranking points attached to a strong finish carry even more weight for players fighting to stay inside the top 70 cutoff. A Monday finish would not just have been an inconvenience, it would have compressed preparation time before the very next event on the calendar, adding pressure to players who are already managing a demanding stretch of the season. This is exactly the kind of storyline we love covering here at Global Orbit, the details that never show up in a simple score ticker. If that's the kind of golf coverage you want more of, subscribing is the best way to make sure you catch it as it happens. By the time the final groups made the turn, the tournament had delivered one of the most talked about weeks of the season, a record-tying 61 matched 3 separate times, a reigning major champion sent home early, a bubble player forced to withdraw before the event even started, and a weather system that forced officials to compress an entire final round into a 2-hour tee sheet. Whether the round finished cleanly on Sunday afternoon or ran into further delay, one thing was clear heading into the closing holes: the winner of this tournament would be decided not just by who played the best golf, but by who adapted best to the conditions in front of them. Which storyline do you think ends up deciding this tournament, the leaderboard chaos or the weather? If you enjoy honest, in-depth PGA Tour breakdowns like this one, do us a big favor and subscribe to Global Orbit. We're a growing channel, and every subscriber genuinely helps us keep bringing you this kind of coverage all season long. Hit that bell too, so you're first to know when the leaderboard shakes up again. We'll be back the moment this tournament resolves. See you then.